morning to start out working. We've already worked on the deck this morning. We've got logs sorted, put in the rows. I let Dad kind of get a little bit ahead of me. Now I'm caught up. He's working on that big tall guy there. Big guy in front of us. Some back here on this hill. They're just scattered out through here. Got a pretty good one right there. Tall guy. They just a good place for these trees to grow right down here. They're getting ample amount of moisture, fighting for sunlight in this deep draw. So, and it's really not even that deep. I should watch my wording there. And this draw, holler, thicket, whatever you want to call it. So the trees are growing nice and straight, tall. Just a good clean set of logs. Waiting for Dad to get this one down, and we'll go up there and help him buck it up. Here in a bit, we'll see if we. Let's hop off right now. Here in a bit, we'll try to look at these trees that were stolen. I know one of them's back here, and I know the other one's on up here ways. I just can't remember where exactly it was up here. I think it's right here in front of us where there's a treetop. This is something you don't see every day. Look at that. A walnut and a hackberry growing together. Side by side growing together. Isn't that something? Almost like a double tree. They're growing together. Walnut on one side, hackberry on the other. Several good trees down here left to cut. Several small trees. Several small trees. My Dad's getting her clipped here. I think he's getting ready to clip the spurs and let her come down. We'll stand back here out of the way. That's a tall old sucker. Tall old tree. Sizing her up there. Yeah, he's clipping the spurs right now. I sure like getting to see these tall trees come down. They're fun to cut. I love cutting this. I don't care if it's oak, sycamore, maple, ash. I just love getting to cut this tall timber. The tree's starting to rock and shake there. There it goes. He's feathering it, trying to get it to come over gently. There it goes. There it goes. Pretty good placement of it. Let's try to go help him work it up. Grab a gear here. Man, there's some stovepipes. Them are some stovepipes. easy fall. You just can't ask for a much easier fall than that. Got the saw sitting there. Just got done bringing that one there down. Here's the other one they took, and this one was cut back this summer. See, the leaves are still on there. There's the stump under there. They've got brush piled on the stump. This old girl got hung up. They've had to pull her down. Got hung up in that tree there. I took the part of that one there when it come down. See, even with that tree there, look at that. Come together when cutting it. This could have been cut up here, right there at that crotch, because that all could have been shaved off and rounded, making, you know, there'd been an additional 4 foot of log there. That's a shame. That's a shame. I can't tell how big that stump is because all that brush is on it, but I'm guessing it's probably pretty big. Probably a pretty big stump. Let's see if we can hook onto this one and drag it out. I'm going to leave the saw right there. We'll drag this one out, and I'm going to come around, and I'm going to push this treetop back the other direction to leave this road open. That way we can continue to use this road. Dad's got his truck down in here, his little Dodge Dakota, the flatbed. And he's going to drive on up in here, probably park right there by that brush pile, that top. But I'll grab that log and I'll come around and I'll push all that. See if we can wade through here. This is a good thing, and I wear chaps and I wear a hard hat, and I don't wear them for the reasons. You will never hear me harp to someone about their choice to wear their personal protection equipment. Really, to me, it's personal choice. You want to wear it, wear it. If you don't, don't. Because honestly, I think if a big limb comes out of a tree, hits you in the head, the only thing a hard hat's going to do, they're just going to be digging plastic out of your skull. People argue that. That's fine. Argue it. I don't care. But I wear my hard hat, got it on right now, and I wear my chaps. One of the main reasons I wear my chaps, two actually, see all this stuff here, rose bushes and briars? I'll wade right through them with these chaps. Another reason, keeps my jeans clean. Hard day of cutting or working, my jeans ain't hardly dirty, ain't got to worry about rips or tears. That's another reason I like the chaps. I mean, the added protection they have to, you know, if you get a saw in you, that's great too, it really is. But you will never hear me harp at someone for wearing a hard hat or chaps. That's your own choice. That's part of living in America, a free country. If you want to wear it, wear it. If you don't, don't. But that doesn't give you a right to harp on somebody if they're not wearing it. Who do you think you are, Dudley Do-Right? Man, you ain't nobody. People are big enough to make their own decisions. Let them make their own decisions. Now, let's drag some logs. As Dad's working that tree up, this is one of the trees that was cut and stolen right here. Here's the stump of it. That stump is huge. I mean, that is a big stump. Big stump. There's no telling how big this tree was. No telling how big it was. The roots flared out real big. It grew right down here in this deep draw. And this is one of the ones they stole right here. And that is a huge stump. And there's no way of knowing how big the tree was. I'm guessing it fell right out through here, because judging by the top, that part of that top's broke out in that little elm there. And it looks like the new owners, I think, have burnt what was laying here part of the top. But man, what a shame. I mean, that tree was probably huge. And the other one's on up here, the other one they stole, but Dad said he remembered a couple big trees in here, and I'd say that was one of them. But you know, it'd been 20 years since Dad had looked at it. I mean, that stump's way back up there, so you're talking a big high-dollar tree. Of course, no one's gonna risk getting caught to steal low-grade trees, or at least I wouldn't think they would. They might. See right here, here's where something's been bent down. That's old there, where the top probably fell on it and bent it down. That's a shame. That's a shame. Always hate to see stuff like that happen to anybody. Sure do. I mean, that's potentially thousands of dollars lost to whoever owned the property at that time and to the new owners. I mean, that's money lost because a tree was stolen off the property. And that's one of two trees, so without seeing those trees, I mean, there's no telling how much money those two trees would have been worth. You know they were good logs. They wouldn't have took them. But they snuck right in here, right up this draw. The other one's on up there on the other side of the skidder. We'll go look at it here in a bit. That's quite a deal. It's a shame. It's a shame, but one thing about it, there'll be trees in here for years and years to come to harvest. I mean, this draw is just full of walnut trees. Just full from one side to the other. And it's not very wide. You know, you can see the opening up there. Scroll over. Kind of the opening up there on the other side where Dad's at. On up there at the top of the hill. It's a pretty neat little area. Another good one getting ready to come down. Just clipping the last spur right now. There it goes. Nice and easy. Look at that. Love to see those leaves fall. Reminds me of the movie Predator. Stuff like this, and a few of these have cut a little bad in the butt. But if you look at this thing here, this thing was awful knotty and gnarly. I mean, you see all these knots, they're just covered like, almost like a cancer or something. They just cover the whole tree. And it didn't cut bad, but it's just, like I said, you can see these knots and they're just all over the tree. Just a rough old gnarly tree. We decided to harvest this one just because of that. And if you look up here in the top, you can kind of see what we did here. It wide off. And this piece here is pretty good because it's straight, but this piece over here's got a crook in it. But I think we can round it enough that way we can make two probably maybe a 6 and a 7 or 2 7s out of it. That way we can just keep the footage there. I mean, you can see that's not a good sign. Time you see that stuff, it's time to harvest. But look at that crotch there, that big saddle crotch. If somebody was into woodworking, that'd be a good piece of wood to work with right there. But I don't like to leave anything lay if we can use it. I like to try to utilize everything we can. And a lot of times we'll bring stuff out like that where in the timber it looks nasty and covered with knots. But you let us get it out there to the deck where we can kind of roll it and work it. And roll it with a skid steer, and I can round up the chainsaw to make those logs round, trim those knots down flush. They look like good pieces. They're good logs then. Granted, they're low grade. They're just low grade number 2 lumber logs, but still, it's better to utilize them than leave them laying on the forest floor. Now, Dad, he's over here. I pushed out around this tree. It had a bunch of bars and just stuff like that around it, brush. That there is a beast of a tree. So Dad's going to bring it down. I'm going to watch him bring it down real quick. He's clipping the ears right now. Starting to rock a little bit. But he, like I said, he's already bored out and he's cutting and clipping the ears. We'll watch him get it down. That's quite a tree right there. If he gets it down, we'll go up and look at it. Just kind of growing up, that big tree just kind of growing up here on the flat. Kind of all by its lonesome. Really starting to rock now. You see some of those spurs he'll cut into, then he'll go clip another one or cut into another one. You don't always clip them all at once. Sometimes you want to leave a little bit hold on one, a little bit hold on the other. It all just depends on where you're wanting to put the tree, and it kind of helps ease the fall. See right there, she's starting to go. It's going nice and easy. See? Easing on down. Right there. It's hung up in that other tree, but that's probably for the best. That big crotch up there, you don't take a risk in breaking it. It's hung up in an oak over there. We'll pull that down and cut it off once we get this out. My. What a piece of wood. That thing goes to the sky. Look how big that thing is. Good bark. Uniform bark on it. All the way to the top. All the way to the top. Now we just got the last one we cut out to the deck. Dad's on his way out. That's a pretty good sized tree, but it looks pretty small next to that. It's a good log right there. A little sap on it, but she's good. Good log. And out there's that's some kind of beast there. That is some kind of beast. Dad really does a good job of cutting those. That's that big ugly thing there. And it's real sappy. But like I said, look at all these knots and stuff all the way around it. Just like it almost looks like it'd be, some of those look like it'd have wire. Like if you guys that cut timber, you know when wire's going into a tree, how it looks. That's kind of what it looks like. And it goes all the way up the tree almost on both sides. Look how, I didn't look and pay attention how sappy it was, but my gosh. Look at the sapwood. Growth rings are spaced way apart on it. It's a good tree there. Another good tree. Just some champions. Now here, where are we at here? Here's a good example of why these things, let's move this brush, why they need to be cut. Starting to go bad. And that's a pretty good tree. It looked, I wouldn't have thought it was going bad. And you know, that's about 6 of them we've cut out of this track now. They're starting to go bad. And you just never know. You never know, because that's not as big as some of them. And here's another one. This one's big here. This is a bigger tree. Look at it. It's starting to go bad. It's starting to get ate up. And it really, this was a good time to harvest a lot of these trees, because just like that, that's where it starts, like that. And then the next thing you know, you got something like that. So it's important to get to them while, you know, there's still a significant value in the tree before you let them go, because this tree here, we'll have to cut it back. We'll have to butt that off, clean it up. Man, that's right there in the heartwood. That's there in the good stuff. So it's always important to harvest your trees when they need to be harvested. I mean, you don't let them grow and let them grow just because they're producing leaves every year and they're green. That doesn't mean you don't have problems in the inside like that. And some of them you can tell. Some of them there's telltale signs. Some of them there's not. So you never know. You never know what they're going to look like. So that's why I always tell people it's good to harvest their timber periodically. There's a time to harvest and there's a time to let grow. Well, we're going to mark these things up, get them bucked. Well, we got this morning's logs bucked up and rode, trimmed. They're looking pretty good. Boy, I hope I can make that turn. I say that because there's some little peach trees over here. They've got rode up a bunch of little peach trees. I'm trying not to tear any of them up, but yeah, that is the product of 21 trees. And I've actually still got a few logs over there I need to trim. I just need to trim them a little better before I row them up. So, but yeah, if we can get turned here, that is the product of 21 walnut trees right there. And we've got maybe 6 or 7 left that we're going to cut. We've about got it done now, but we've got 6 or 7 more trees. I think that's all, unless there's a few that are just damaged that need to come out just for TSI purposes. But other than that, we've about got it wrapped up. I'd say we'll come back after lunch. It's a beautiful day. We'll come back after lunch and probably try to get the rest of them. We've got one tree we've got to pull. We'll probably do it tomorrow. That'll probably be the last tree of the job, the big one we've got to pull. But we'll get that one tomorrow. And that'll have the wraps on this job. Yeah. Quick job. You know, there should be sawdust mine now, making a dumb face. There should be over 10,000 foot on this job. Out of those, like I said, there should be about 29, maybe 30 trees by the time we're done. There should be well over 10,000 foot in the volume. High, a lot of them are high. Almost every tree we've cut's had a good veneer log in it. Almost every tree. So they're just they're an uncommonly good set of logs for our area. I like I said, as I showed earlier in the video, I wish we could have had those two that were stolen off there, because who knows how big they were. They were big trees. I've got to put a hat on of some sorts. I like balding and it's bothering me. There. Put on my logger threads beanie, even though it's hot. Well, it's 51 degrees, but hot enough. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and put this video up today. I might film it more later today and put it on tomorrow's video if anything cool or interesting happens, but it's just logging. But I will have a video tomorrow of the big tree when we pull it, because it is a big tree and it leans hard. So it's going to take a little time, a little skill to get it down, which with Dad on the saw, me on the skidder, I've got full faith that we'll get it down safe and sound easily. Then we're going to go back and start working on the cleanup. Just kind of, I'm going to make them a couple new roads or trails, and we're just going to clean up the existing ones they got. We'll throw the tooth bucket on the skid steer, maybe the grapple. Just do a little pickup. We'll sweep the deck, get it good, clean up all of our end trimmings and debris. It'll be a done deal. And on to the next one. And that next job's actually just maybe 5-6 miles to the crow flies, if that away. So close. The next job's close. Then I've got to look at timber tomorrow up by Kansas City, Missouri. I know Friday I've got 2 appointments Friday morning, or excuse me, 1 appointment Friday morning as of now over by Milford, Missouri. Then my afternoon appointments in Nixon, Missouri. So as always, on the road, if we're not cutting timber, I'm out buying timber. So guys, thanks a lot for following along with us. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. You can see pictures of stuff we post every day, which you're seeing the videos. So if you're watching this, or if you've seen this on Facebook or Instagram, you can see the link to the video. Either. Check things out on Logger Threads. Man, that's a lot of fun. Designing shirts and selling shirts is a lot of fun. It's something I enjoy. The whole concept of the business there, I'm just with Logger Threads, I'm just bootstrapping it. And if you don't know what bootstrapping is, it's a pretty neat business term I've picked up along the way, because I've got a lot of great people in my life that are entrepreneurs and also business people, and you learn a lot from them. And business is just something I enjoy. It is. I mean, I just love business. I mean, I love the aspects of it, all aspects of it. It's fun. It's what keeps my mind racing, keeps my heart moving, or vice versa, mind moving, heart racing. Either way, you get the gist of it. So, yeah, be sure to check out Logger Threads. I've actually got a new design in the works right now. It's something kind of a little different. It's all logging forestry related, but the new design is called the Harvester. I'm pretty excited about it. It's almost a little darker as far as the imagery goes, but it's a really cool design. I think a lot of you guys will like it. I know some of you guys probably won't, but it's hard to please everybody. So be sure to check that out. Check out Timber Tracker. A lot of people always ask about it. It's just one day at a time, man. I mean, my hands are tied on the development and the building stage of the app and the website. So I'm just as anxious as you guys are, trust me. So check all that out, guys. I'm getting off here. Thanks a lot again. Be sure to check all that stuff out. I will see you tomorrow for more awesome logging action. Guys, later.